What up, y'all? If you're anything like me, you've been waiting on a good boxing game for years. Seems like there hasn't been anything solid since Fight Night days. But Steel City Interactive and 1024 Media have been developing a game called Undisputed. They allowed early access to it starting on January 31st. I've been playing it for about a week now, and I just wanted to give y'all some of my pros and cons so far. They're still developing the game, but it seems like it's pretty much 80 to 90% there, so it should be a pretty solid review. So one of the really cool things about this game is the roster of boxers that you can choose from. They have all weight classes, including women. They have classic fighters, modern fighters, and even though they said this isn't the full roster that they plan on rolling out for the full release, they still put some pretty big hitters in the early release, you know. They've got classic fighters like Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Mickey Ward, etc., etc. But they also have really big hitters right now, you know, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, Canelo, as well as some influencer type boxers or people who have boxed, but you don't necessarily look at them as just a boxer. In addition, each boxer will have a fighting style, a rating, traits, and a list of their stats, like a rating for each stat they have. These stats include vitality, stamina, speed, strength, defense, heart, and your traits are things that are unique to you. For example, Muhammad Ali, as you can see, has butterfly and bee. Deontay Wilder has a bomb. And it's really cool how they have these styles for the boxers because different styles obviously match up better with different boxers. For example, if you have an outboxer style like Muhammad Ali, you're going to pair up really well with someone like Deontay Wilder who has a slugger style, as long as you're not taking too many hits. Another thing that I like once you're in the game is the graphics are great. These boxers, they look like they do in real life, and you can only simulate natural human movements so much on a video game. But for the most part, they really did a good job in making the boxers on the game move like they did in real life. As far as movement in general, they really leveled up. You know, you can sidestep to create angles, you can roll, you can sidestep while punching, you can slip, and you can also switch modes of stance and movement. So you can be static with your feet planted firmly, or by hitting up on the D-pad, you can get a little loose and, you know, move around kind of like Muhammad Ali did naturally. On top of those things, there's other things I appreciate about the realism of the game, such as your stamina meter. Other fighting games have felt pretty arcadish with endurance, you know. On this game, if you throw a million punches, you will be dead ass tired by the end of the game. Each round, you get to see where your stamina meter is at. You get to see how much you've gained back, how much you've lost. And I think it's pretty accurate representation, you know. Another thing that they put into this game that I really appreciate that wasn't on any boxing game before is they give each part of your body a different health bar. And not only that, you can't see your opponent's health bar, so you have to keep in mind where you've been hitting, how you've been hitting as far as power or light. But as you can see, for example, when you come to the corner, it will tell you your overall health in each part of your body. Even when you're fighting, you can see that your health is deteriorating in certain areas more than others. And it will tell you, you know, your left head is almost out of there, bro. You need to move around or block. You know, because in real life, when you fight, hitting someone in the body over and over isn't going to decrease their overall health if their head is fine. And vice versa. You can hit someone in the head a million times, you can knock them out. And they can go home and their ribs will feel fine. But this game really allows you to pinpoint where you're attacking your opponent so that you can create a game plan or take advantage of what they're exposing to you. Your block can wear down. You know, you even have a meter for your blocking. Not just your health, but it'll show you how much more you can block before you just can't block anymore because you're getting fucked up. And once one of those health meters drops too far, you enter into a survival mode feeling where things slow down. You can hear your heartbeat, but not much of the crowd. And this is when you're the most vulnerable. Once you're in this vulnerable stage, you can only take a few more hits before you get knocked down. Similar to real life, you know, people get their bell rung all the time, but they don't always get knocked down. They might recover. So they give you, I don't know, 10 to 15 seconds to recover. And then you start to come back. Your health doesn't go up all the way, but your clarity comes back, which is pretty realistic. If they do knock you down, the way you get up is also pretty interesting and I appreciate. They have a new feature where you have to match the left and the right back triggers of your controller to stay within the bars that are floating up and down, not only really hard, but it gets harder the more you get knocked down, which seems realistic. And in other games, I don't know, it kind of felt too easy to get up from a knockdown. Once your opponent or you put someone into this vulnerable stage, you get a boost of adrenaline. And you can use that to try to knock your opponent down. But if you don't get them down, you lose a considerable amount of stamina because you gassed out on your adrenaline. Faces turn red. You can get cut. They'll even stop a fight for a cut, which is pretty cool. I don't know if I remember that being in Fight Night. My list of things that I don't really like about the game right now is definitely way shorter than the things that I do like about the game. But nonetheless, there are some things that I feel like could be improved. For one, there's some glitches that really bother me and affect the gameplay. For example, sometimes the game will glitch and put you in that vulnerable danger mode when you're about to get knocked out, when you haven't even been touched. And just in general, sometimes you get hit, like your guy will do the getting hit motion and you'll hear the sound when you weren't even close to being touched. On the other hand, even though it's a positive that I listed in being able to create angles and move well, there's some things about when you get these angles that bother me. For one, if you keep moving to create that angle, there's a weird little haze that forms around you when you're going in circles. And that may be just to simulate the feeling of dizziness or just movement like we would get in real life, but it really doesn't look real if I'm looking at the fighters. Also, I can't even tell you how many times I've created an angle and had a wide open clear shot and went for it and it just misses. You know, shots that wouldn't miss in real life. Another thing that seems to be a glitch based on my experience and also watching other people's experiences on YouTube is a connection issue. I don't know if it's something in the coding of the game or what, but I would say 1 in 3 or 4 of my fights in the first few days online would disconnect. And your boy got that bougie internet, so I know it's not my shit. Went online, looked at other YouTubers, and it looks like they were having connection issues too. So that's definitely something they'll have to get figured out. My second gripe may be because I just haven't figured it out yet, but I did go through the training and I didn't see anything telling me how to do so. But there's no ability to feint on this game or to control your parry. I hear the announcers saying, oh, he parried the punch, but it doesn't seem like there's a control that I've figured out that you can parry on purpose with. And I heard you were going to be able to feint on this game, which is a huge part of timing and just boxing in general. So I was looking forward to that. You also can't move with your rolls. You know, like I said, one of my pros was you can step and punch. You can't really step and roll. So I think that they could tinker with that, maybe make that a little better. I'm not sure if it's a stylistic thing between certain boxers, but some boxers can jab while still holding their other hand up to block. You know, you can jab from the block. And some boxers, you can't hold the block button and jab at the same time. I'm not sure if that's a glitch or if it's something that only certain fighters can do, but it's not realistic. One of my last major gripes is the corner. In between rounds on Fight Night, you know, you used to be able to choose what to prioritize in your corner time, such as cold compress, you know, ice, fixing a cut, things like that. But on this game, not only does your corner not give you any advice, which would be cool if the computer knew where you were lacking and could tell you what to fix, but it doesn't allow you to choose anything. You just have to sit there and watch. They don't even really say anything. It sounds like murmurs. The corner guy behind you just stares into space like a weirdo. I don't know what that is. The corner time just seems a little bit useless other than seeing where your stamina and your health is at. So yeah, overall, I think it's a great game. It's probably about 80 to 90% done being developed. At least that's what it feels like. And I'd probably rate it about the same, 8 or 9 out of 10 so far. It's pretty close to natural human movement and also copying the styles of boxers in real life. My major gripe is that creating the angles and missing the punches, but also getting punched out of nowhere when they weren't even close to you is. So if they just fix those things, fix the online connectivity, I'd be willing to say this game's a 10 out of 10. I'm just excited to have a new boxing game that's good. And I hope this starts the wave of people making boxing games again. You know, it's been too long.